Well, I haven't been hiking in this area in a while, largely because of the weather. It's been too hot. But right through here, right here, you've seen me hike in this area before. Back it up here as far as I can. Right here, you can see where the water is kind of coming over this log here. That's a man-made structure there, obviously, but you see there's just a little bit of water coming through there. So there hasn't been as much rain. The river, or I'll call it the river, the creek here is down. As you can see right here, this little island, I guess you could call it, there in the middle of the stream. See all the rocks. At the time, you can't see that much of it. It's covered over. There's a lot of water. So the river, again, I say river, the creek here is down. And you can see the wind. Wind's blowing. It's cold out today. It's not below freezing. I think it's in the 50s. Last I checked the weather and saw it was in the 50s. But with the wind blowing and all, it is kind of cold. So it feels good to be out. The sun is shining out. Right here, see if I can zoom in on it a bit. See a bunch of leaves have gathered up here. Because it is the fall of the year, and as we go through here, some of this you can tell. You can see some of these leaves have changed color. So, I haven't walked this trail in a few months now. That's not technically true because I walked it from the other direction before I started filming there. So what I'm doing right now, I'm going backwards from what I had done. But nonetheless, today is the first time I have walked it. I don't remember when the last time was. During the summer months and spring and all, I've said this before on here. One of the reasons I don't come out as much during that time is because of a couple of reasons, 2 or 3 reasons. One, it's just so much hotter during that time. There's only so many clothes you can shed. You can put on quite a bit, but there's only so much you can shed, and it can get real hot, it can get real sweaty. And in this part of the country, it gets real humid. So that's one reason, and also because of what the hot and humid weather tends to bring. Go around here. One thing is what's on the ground, and you may remember if you check back on some of my videos from a few months ago, is on this very trail right here. In fact, I ran across a snake. Look, I ran across a couple of them on here. Now, they weren't poisonous snakes. It was a black snake of some kind, probably a rat snake. And they, slithered away from me, of course. But nonetheless, there are the poisonous variety. Just so you know, I stated that incorrectly. It's more correct to say venomous, not poisonous. But there are plenty of those around here. I've been fortunate to avoid them. So that's one reason there's more of them out when it's hot. When it's cold, they tend to not come out because of the nature of being cold-blooded. And another thing that's out during the time when it's hot, which is actually even worse in my opinion, is gnats and mosquitoes. And like I said, that's even worse because I can kind of avoid snakes, keep my eye out for them, and generally speaking, they will avoid you too. Gnats and mosquitoes have no such fear of human beings. They don't mind flying around you, biting, being annoying. So when it's cold, they're not out. So that's the good thing about the cold weather. You see the creek down through here flowing. There's partly cloudy out today, so the sun, you can see it in bits and pieces. When it comes, when it's behind the cloud, it gets a little bit cooler, obviously. When it's not, it's a little bit warmer. Here's something that ought to look familiar because I've put it on here a few times. That tree with the root, or trunk, or whatever of it there. That's, you can see here it goes around into the tree. To the top, that tree, it's an oak tree of some kind, I think, but it's lost all of its leaves, or nearly all of them. Some of these trees haven't. Like here's one here. Some of them are still green, some of them are turned yellow. There's one over there. See if I can. You see, it's kind of turned orange. There's a maple tree here. It's partially green, partially yellow. So they're starting to die. I come upon a sweet gum tree. I don't remember there being too many around here. There were in some of the other areas I've hiked at. I'm sure there are some here. I'm just not thinking about exactly where they're at the moment. Well, some of them have already fallen off, and you can find some that are purple. Sweet gums tend to be the first ones leaves to change colors. At least that's been my observation the past few years, noticing this. Hear the wind again. Right there, there's two different trails, two different paths you can take. They'll end up in the same place. They meet up again here in a moment. But one goes next to the creek. One goes a little bit away from it. I walked the one next to the creek when I walked this way first today. And so I'll walk the other way now. Here's some more maple. Right about here is where that other path, other part of the trail that's split there, we're run into it. As I recall, it was somewhere around right in here is where I saw that snake at. There was a lot more leaves on the tree. It was a lot greener then. Now, I don't expect to see him today. He's curled up somewhere where it's nice and warm. You've seen this before too. The three limbs that come out of that tree. And here again, you can see some more leaves that are falling in the stream up here. Some of them are floating right down the river there, down the creek. See a little view of rapids here. Little ripples. I said it hadn't rained really the past few days here. I'll say a few days, probably been a week, maybe 2 weeks since it's rained any. So that's why the creek over here is a little bit down. One thing about today that I did say before, I just mentioned to you that it's being cooler out in the 50s. Now the sun's breaking through now. But one nice thing about being out in the cooler weather is this cold air. There's nothing quite, in my opinion, nothing quite like breathing in the cold air. It's sort of a refreshing thing. Just feels a lot better. It's a great, I don't, for lack of a better way of saying it, has a good psychological boost to it. As long as you're not, if you're wearing short sleeves and shorts or something, it probably would not feel so good because you'd be freezing. But as long as you're, and I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt and blue jeans today, so I'm pretty well protected as far as that goes, as far as being warm, or at least warm enough, although my hands are very cold. But just with that, as long as that's taken care of and you're not, freezing otherwise, getting frostbite or anything of that nature, that feels, there's nothing quite like that feeling of breathing in cold air. And when the winter gets here, so I've been out here before in the winter as well, when it's getting down where it really is below freezing, it feels even better then. You don't really want to stay out in it too long, but it does feels very good. Now right here is another place I've been to several times, and you've probably seen me film here before. Over here, there's dead right now. They'll be back during the spring. There's usually honeysuckle right in there. And you got the sign up there, not remove rocks from the stream. Don't take them out of here. But usually that whole area right here, you can see, I can zoom in here a little bit. I don't know if it shows up on the camera here as well, but you can see where part of that's been cut. You can see right there on the other side a little bit better, where there's a kind of a long area there where it gets to right there. It's been cut. That's for the water to go over easier, but as you can see, it's only going through in that little area. It's not going through there. It's like the leaves almost have got it dammed up. But when the water gets when it rains more, the water gets up, it'll be going over all of that down through there, and sometimes even over those areas there that are a little larger. Zoom out. So some more yellow leaves up here. I wanted to get out and sort of film these before any of them, or before most of them at least, fell down. There's ones that sort of turn kind of a purplish color. I went to another area today. I was going to hike in another area that I've gone to a lot, and kind of heartbroken when I got there because they've cut down a bunch of trees and got a bunch of tractors and logging trucks and so forth going over it, and left a lot of their tire prints on there. And it's just area. I don't think I've got it on my YouTube channel, but if you look on, if you're watching this on the Facebook channel, you can look at that area and see a lot of the hikes I've done in that area, and have to wait a while before I can go back and over there. They've kind of, I say sort of heartbroken seeing that, because I remember how nice it was and how much I enjoyed walking back in that area, and they've cut down so much of it and destroyed so much of it now. So maybe in the next few years it'll grow back up again. It'll be there for others to get to see. Hopefully it'll be better than it was. But I'm gonna walk back this way. I normally don't film too much. This is usually where I stop, but I've gone back through here several times. And I can see people throwing out their beer cans through here too. That's another thing I always hate to see, is when people litter up this place. It does not take much to carry whatever it is trash you've accumulated for whatever reason. Beer can or Coke can or potato chip bag, whatever it may be, just to carry it out with you. But for some reason people are convinced they have to throw them down. There's some whenever I watch these things, I always notice how much louder the camera picks up the crunch, and especially with so many leaves now, the crunch that goes on underneath my feet. Here you can see my foot there. I step on something. Yeah, the creek's still over there. I'm just getting a little ways away from it. I'll be back up to it here in just a second. Yep, just walked into a spider web there. Having to brush it off my hair. I'm sure the spider's not too happy about with me right now. It's nice just looking how clear the water is here. As you can see, let's see if I can zoom in here just a bit. As you can see the rocks and all on the bottom of this. Just a little bit more of a, I'll call them rapids. They're not not rapids, but a little shallow place. You can see a little rippling, I guess. Oop. There we go. And you can see it. Walk down here just a little ways. Close to the water as I can get here. There's me. There's the water. And there's some down here. Down there as well. I might go down there in a little bit, but I'm going to stop the video right here. Just wanted to get out and see this again. And there on the other side, you can see some leaves have changed. There's still some that are green. And there's some that have changed, and some, as you can see here, they're fallen. So in a month or so, they'll all mostly be falling, other than maybe a few dead leaves that are hanging on. But this is one of the best times of year to be able to see that. Just to be able to see see the leaves and get to experience this, and just to get to be out in it. And so when it's not too cold yet, but it's cold enough to where you don't have to worry about the spiders, or not, well, the spiders, I ran into them, but the mosquitoes and gnats and the snakes and all crawling along. So anyway, I just wanted to bring everybody out today, and I wanted to come out today and just let everybody else that watches my videos here be able to see this with me. And hopefully I can do this some more here in the next several days. Maybe in some other places as well. Some of the other places I go to. And I will be putting some more videos up of some of the Bible lessons and other things that I've done as well. So you'll get to see more of that. At least I hope. That's the plan, at least. Well, hope everybody has a blessed day, and we'll talk with you later.